Namaste. It gives immense pleasure of wisdom from the ancient living traditions of India. We are taught to take each and every situation that is presented to us as a boon, a gift, and grace from the divine. Why so? Let us take this recent COVID phenomenon as an example. What this COVID has done is helped all of us to come together, utilize technology to reach out to each other like how we are reaching out now, establish connects with old friends, spend time with the loved ones for whom we have been slogging all along in life. So all of us were given a right perspective of life by nature, and this has happened sheer grace. So in the Indian living tradition, we are made to understand that the cosmos, if we think of cosmos as divinity, the divinity works in five different ways. The first way is creation, which all of us know. The second way is sustenance, and the third operational way is dissolution or destruction. This all of us are aware of this cycle, but there are the fourth and fifth operational areas of the divine, which are called the veil, the fourth one, and the fifth one is called the grace. So, what is this veil? It is this veil which makes us to feel that if I achieve this promotion, life is going to be great and better. If I buy this home, I'm settled for life. If I go to this foreign trip or have a vacation at a particular place, then I think I can tick something in my bucket list. So, such is the way we are made to think that when we do something, we are going to become full. And that propels us into action, inaction, overaction, and reaction. So, this is the work of the veil, that which makes us feel that if we don't do that, we are incomplete. So, this is a very, very important aspect for us to understand if we have to dive deep within and pursue the path of self discovery. The fifth aspect of divinity's operational mode is called the grace. When someone sincerely asks within questions like, who am I? Where I have come from here, where I would go. And these questions are coming out of complete earnestness and a desire to know the truth and be the truth itself. And it is at these junctions in our life, or junctures in our life, we get to experience what is called as grace. Remember, grace is ever flowing. For example, you need an equipment like a radio to tune in to capture a particular station and the songs can be played for us. But whether we tune in or not, the songs are always there. So, what we do is we sit down and tune ourselves to receive the grace, like how we tune the radio to receive a particular station, receive news, or listen to some songs. It is as simple as that. The tradition gives lot of processes to tap this grace. Before we get to learn one of those processes, which would reach you somewhere in this recording, we also have to observe that we call this place as universe. Just spell it out. It is UNI plus VERSE. So, what does this mean? We have to understand that this universe is just one verse in the divine's book of infinite pages. This universe is just one verse in the divinity's book of infinite pages. So imagine the abundance which is available for us, and by grace, all of us are entitled to tap this abundance. So this is one important aspect to understand. And this is also one of the reasons why the living traditions believe that it is always important to operate from the state of fullness, which is called purnata, fullness. Correct? Suppose someone comes to you and asks, "Give me $100." If you have, you would give. Otherwise, you would say, you know someone who can give them $100. In most likelihood, it's a bank, right? Why we do that? A bank has deposits and they're entitled to give based on our eligibility. Similarly, think of cosmos like a bank which has access to infinite wealth, infinite grace, and infinite prosperity. So we need to make ourselves eligible and then learn how to tap this grace, abundance, and prosperity, which is available for each and every one of us living here right now. Hope this is very clear. So, only we can receive from a source which already has everything. So, the concept of fullness has to be very clear and enshrined in our vocabulary than trying to practice the state of emptiness. So, what is that which is full can give us? That which is empty, what can you expect from the state of emptiness? Nothing, because that is empty. If it is full, there is something. So please be very clear. Something which is blank, it doesn't mean it is empty. Something which is blank because space is also full. Please remember this subtle point. So if we have to tap this grace, there is one simple word in English that we have to understand is awareness. Awareness is nothing but just being wherever we are, however we are, and whatever we are, and observe with a non judgmental attitude what's happening around. Take an example of how a court would function. The judge would call upon both the parties presenting their case, but the main judgment is reserved till the judge hears out to the witness. So, who is a witness? A witness is one, by definition, helps the judge to understand the sequence of events, how they unfolded, the people involved in the right way, the exact way how it happened. Similarly, for us to tap grace, the key quality which we have to develop within us is awareness. Today, mindfulness, heartfulness, the living in the now are some of the terms which are seen and heard by many of us. They are all nothing but derivations from the word awareness. Now, let us understand more about awareness and why accepting the state of fullness is a much practical way than trying to empty the mind. Mind is not just like a dustbin which has a limited shape and size that we use at our home and offices. Mind is like the tip of the iceberg. The conscious mind, particularly, is like the tip of the iceberg. The subconscious mind is very, very vast and big. And many estimate that 90% of our mind is subconscious and only 10% of the mind is conscious mind. So how in the world are we going to empty this or empty the contents from the 90% of the subconscious mind? It may take ages, it may take lives. So what is mentioned in the tradition is somehow if the mind is allowed to develop that reality is infinite and what we see is infinite manifestations of that infinite reality. So it is futile to empty or try to even empty infinity. Just imagine if you are living in a, say, a 2000 square feet area. Can we count the sand particles? Can we count the blades of grass which we see around? Can we count the leaves the trees in our campus have? Absolutely impossible, right? But how in the world are we trying to count the thoughts and empty the thoughts in the mind when their very nature is infinity? So, this is the reason why in the tradition we always operate from the state of fullness and accept that reality is full, not empty. This is a very, very important aspect for us to understand. So, when you understand this, what happens? You just try and see whether can you be a witness to whatever which is happening around. If you are experiencing emptiness, so be it. If you are experiencing fullness, so be it, because you are just a witness. Being empty or full no longer matter to you as long as you can live in the present moment, which is now. Correct? So for all this, we need to also have few processes. Till now, we have been understanding the concepts. This is another way in which the Indian living traditions are far different. They don't just share a concept, they also share a practice through which we can realize this concept. So, as said earlier, at the end of this recording, you get to practice a particular beginner's level of Yoga Nidra, a very ancient practice mentioned in the Tantra scriptures of India. How Yoga Nidra works. Yoga Nidra is a process of developing the attitude of witness. Thereby, we accept everything as it is. The state of acceptance is a precursor for the practice of Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra works not just at the body level, but it taps the infinite potential our mind has and helps us not only in relaxation, it helps us to manage stress and also realize desires. Just recall the five aspects of the functioning of divinity: creation, sustenance, dissolution, veil, and grace. So, first of all, Yoga Nidra helps us to work with the concept of veil. What it does, it helps us to manifest a few desires that we have in life in a very organic way, in a very systematic way, by first calming down the body at the physiological level and preparing the mind in a very structured way to sow a seed which is your desire. And through consistent practice, you could see that seed flower as the desire that you wished in your life. Yoga Nidra helps us to realize a few desires that we have in life. Now, revisit the concept of veil. What is a veil? A veil is something which is making us not to see the things as they are. It's like a curtain. All of us are walking around with some ideas which we feel, when fulfilled, is going to make our life full. At the beginning of this recording, we saw that. That is the fourth aspect or the functioning of the divinity. So, once a person starts to fulfill their desires using this ancient practice of Yoga Nidra, after a couple of desires get fulfilled, they understand that they do not need to bring down the practice of Yoga Nidra to manifest desires. Instead, use the practice of Yoga Nidra to deepen their experience of being a witness. Because whatever has to be experienced by us in this life will anyway happen to us if we think clear, act in the right way, and accept that process orientation is more important, results will take care of themselves. For the simple reason that not only us, there are so many components from nature and the people as well as the situations which are there around us, which contribute to the results that we are going to experience, because result is something which happens in future, not in now. In now, our only grasp is over the process and how we practice this process. Once we become aware, we start to live as much as possible in the present moment. Then the anxiety that we face to see something coming true in our life will be neutralized, because we will always know that we can do whatever we can with the best of our abilities, and whatever has to happen will happen in its own way. So, with that content mindset, the flutters, the vagaries of the mind gradually comes under one's control. Now, once the mind is calm and controlled, then it is fit to be a recipient of grace, which is the fifth operating mode of divinity. All of us in the world today need to know how to tap grace, irrespective of our caste, creed, religion, gender, or culture, because knowledge and truth is common to all of us. The processes may differ based on the region of the world we come from, but all of us need peace. All of us feel that prosperity has to be experienced. For all this to happen, we need to develop the ability to sit quiet so that we allow the grace to fall upon us. So, before we start the practice of Yoga Nidra, we need to understand that the Yoga Nidra, which is provided along with this recording, is not a full and complete version. It is an introductory version. Why so? Immediately, if I or anyone asks us to stay quiet, be still, and do nothing, gradually we tend to sleep. So, one needs to build capacity, build the mental stamina to stay alert and aware throughout the practice. So, the process given to you here is an preparatory process to the standard Yoga Nidra which is practiced in the tradition. What can happen to us when we practice this Yoga Nidra, which is part of this recording? You could experience a sense of calmness. The body relaxes, not just at the physical level, but at the physiological level as well. You will experience a steady flow of breath, which in return quietens the mind naturally. So, using this simple process of Yoga Nidra, we learn to calm ourselves at the mind and body levels, as well as prepare ourselves to practice higher levels of this very same process. A background on this process. This process was brought to us by Swami Satyananda, who, out of his infinite compassion, found that the world would need lot of processes from the system of yoga than just the practice of asana and pranayama. The world and its affairs are getting increasingly complex. This process was brought out by him to teach his disciple, Swami Niranjan. Later, all of those students who were present there in the 1960s at the Bihar School of Yoga. Now, let us have a glimpse of the process. Now, let's practice the process of Yoga Nidra. Ideally, you need to pause this recording now. Get your yoga mat. spread it out, or spread a blanket or a carpet and prepare yourself to lie down like a corpse, completely still, absolutely motionless, but with a gentle smile on your face and with closed eyes. Some of you may feel that you may slip into sleep if you lie down and listen to a soothing voice. So you could choose to sit on a recliner or a chair where you can stay still till further instructions to move your body. So again, let me request you to pause this and prepare yourself before proceeding further. Thank you. Now, body is absolutely still and steady, alert and aware. Eyes are gently closed. There is a gentle smile on your face. If you are lying down, let your heels be at least 2.5 feet apart from each other so that the low back completely rests on the mat and it relaxes. Let your hands be slightly away from the body. Once you do that, you would experience the shoulder too relaxes. Adjust your neck so that the head is reasonably comfortable. And now let there be a gentle smile on your face throughout the practice. A gentle smile will help you to retain your awareness to the present moment. It helps you to hold your mind to the present moment and facilitates better practice of this process. Now, just be aware of the various sounds around you. Each of you could hear different sounds depending on the time zone and the country that you live in. With a smiling face and still body, just be aware of the sounds as and when they happen. Sometimes the mind would preempt and think which could be the next sound, what could be the pattern of the present sound. So tell your mind you are training it to be a witness. All it needs to do is to maintain a smiling face and a still body. Till the end of the process, thinking is being suspended and just being in the present moment is activated. Allow your mind to be aware of each and every sound around you. It could be a known sound, unheard of before, or a rhythmic sound from the wall clock, a chirp of a bird or an insect, or a vehicle passing by, or the sound of your air conditioner, or people talking around, or someone listening to a radio or watching television. Remember, you are a witness. A witness is one who observes things as they are. Let whatever happen, happen. When we adopt this mindset, we allow ourselves to keep the remote control of the emotions with ourselves. So, whichever sound that happens, so be it. Just be aware of it. For some of you, the mind would travel elsewhere. Gently remind yourself you are attempting to practice the process of Yoga Nidra and develop the ability to be a witness. Keep getting your mind back to the awareness of sounds around you. Now, gradually become aware of the entire body that is lying down either in the corpse pose or seated on a chair or recliner, whichever position or whichever place where you are. Ensure that stillness and steadiness are part of your body right now. Now be aware of your right thumb, right index finger, middle finger, right index finger, right little finger, the right hand, right palm, right wrist, right forearm, right elbow, right upper arm, right shoulder, right shoulder blade, the space between the right shoulder blade and the right hip, the right buttock, right thigh, the right knee, the right calf, right ankle, right sole, the right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, the right little toe. Ensure that you are aware and awake. Now gradually become aware of the left thumb, left index finger, middle finger, ring finger, left little finger. Be aware of the left hand, left palm, left wrist, left forearm, left elbow, left upper arm, left shoulder, the space between the left shoulder and the left hip, left buttock, left thigh, left knee, left calf, left ankle, left sole, the left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and the left little toe. Ensure you are aware and awake. Now, once again, check whether the smile is intact and body is absolutely still and steady. Now, gradually become aware of your breath. Observe, observe how breath enters and exits the body. Ensure the mouth is closed and breathing is happening through the nostrils. Again, remind yourself that you are a witness. So allow breathing to happen and allow yourself to observe the process of breathing whenever it happens. Sometimes there could be a deep pause between inhalation and exhalation. It's absolutely okay. All you need to do is to just be a witness of the breathing process. If the mind goes elsewhere, get your mind back to the breathing process with a gentle smile. Continue to keep your eyes closed and maintain stillness of the body. Now, from the breath, bring your awareness back to the body. And from the body, become aware of the various sounds around you. Now, as you are aware of the sounds around you, give gentle movements to your toes and fingers and prepare the body to come back to a seated position. If you are lying down, if you are seated, still you can keep your eyes closed, but give gentle movements to your toes and the fingers. Now interlock your fingers and take the hands above the head. And as you inhale, give a nice stretch. Those of you who are lying down can also get your legs together and stretch your body. And as you exhale, relax. Practice this inhalation, stretch during inhalation, and relaxation during exhalation. Couple of more times at your own breathing pace. Now, if you are seated, you could practice palming, that is, rub your palms, generate some heat, and make a cup of your palms, place them over your eyelids, transfer the warm sensation, practice it 2 to 3 times, and before you open your eyes, hold your palms like a book before yourself. Look at the palms with few blinks. Familiarize your eyes with the luminosity around, and then feel free to look anywhere. Those of you who are lying down also could place the left palm on their abdomen, bend their left leg, turn to the right, straighten the legs, place the left palm before the chest on the ground or the mat, and very gently, with the help of your hands, come up to a seated position and practice palming as instructed earlier. Now, again, I would request you to pause this recording for a few seconds and maintain silence for at least 30 seconds. And then come back to listen to the concluding minute of this recording. As you do all this, thank your mind and body and the cosmos and the organizers of this wonderful series of learning. So what the practice of Yoga Nidra does, it first gives us the remote control of our emotions back to ourselves, because we start to understand that there are n number of things that can happen around us which we were allowing to impact on us without filtering which to be allowed and which not to be allowed. So once we practice this process of Yoga Nidra in a consistent way, it helps us to develop awareness. Thereby, we become better witness to the life around and the thoughts within. The more we are in witness, the more we are prepared to face whatever happens to us in life. Gradually, at higher levels of practice, Yoga Nidra would help us to realize our deep desires, which we think that define us and our very life. Remember, at some point, we need to move ahead beyond this stage of manifesting desires to living a life of just be, so that grace can be tapped. To conclude, the practice of Yoga Nidra helps us to develop a state of witness, thereby being mindful becomes more easy than ever before. The more we are mindful, the better our life is. Better are the ways we will understand how life works, how grace is ever flowing, and we become more eligible to tap that grace, utilize it for ourselves, and share for those who may be in need of it and who are seeking it. That's it from us. Thank you. Namaste. Have a great year ahead.